Where my stupid ass Jeremiah Watkins fans at, huh? Bottom of the barrel listeners. Probably listen to everything. If you're listening to this.
And and where are my puddle drinking Joel Jimenez fans at?
Well, that's where we're going to start the podcast. Yeah. This is happening. Roadcast, Volume 2. This time we're on the road with Tony the Golden Pony Hinchcliffe. We have Joel Jimenez.
Yeah.
And Brian Redban.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are doing this live from a car on the way to Boise, Idaho. We were just in Salt Lake City, Utah last night. Just got a local diner where we had great food at country fried chicken steak.
Chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried country steak.
I had a chunker special.
Oh, shit. That was a dead cow, dude.
Was it on the side of the road?
Yeah, like a full dead cow, like full body intact.
Wow.
Or maybe a bison.
Reminds me of my ex-wife.
Tony saw a cow earlier. He's like, that's a bison. We're like, that's a brown cow, bro. It was definitely.
It was
You guys
a cow,
didn't
dude.
see what I was even talking about. When you guys
You
looked,
guys
it
don't
was
see
cows.
things that I see.
Okay. All right. See, it's like Sixth Sense. I see bisons where other people don't. No, it was a bison, and then when I said, "Hey, look, bisons," then it was cows, and you guys are like, "Those are cows." There was one part where I saw bisons, and then there was horses, and they were like, "No, those are horses."
And I look at the horse and I go, what a beautiful bison. My ocular nerve works at a higher level than the rest of you.
It actually does. I actually have really good eyesight.
Well, you have to have good eyesight to be a pilot, so it works out.
That's right.
That makes sense, yeah.
That's true.
What? What? Redban, stop watching Cam in the back seat. Literally at like 10:30 a.m., Joel goes, okay. He goes, gun to your head. You have to get this this right.
Yeah, or we kill you.
Or we kill you. You have to answer this question correctly or you die. What is Redban watching on his laptop right now? And I go, webcam models. And then he turned it around, and sure enough, it was a naked girl he was watching.
We have Wi-Fi here thanks to GMC Yukon, the official vehicle of Kill Tony.
Yeah. Did you guys sleep well at the Airbnb last night?
Yeah.
Yes, very well.
That was amazing.
It was great. How about you?
I had some nightmares. Or bad dreams. I told Joel about a couple of them. But one of the dreams that I had, because Redban, because, you know, your influence right before whatever you're thinking about before you go to sleep, Redban, stop playing from that website, the audio. So he was on a Cam website right before he went to bed last night in the living room, had it on his laptop on display. And and Tony, that was your first time seeing the how that works, right?
Yes. Yes, it was. I was very impressed. Everything's free. You just have to pay to tip. So it's like Bitcoin, but Titcoin.
Hello.
Or even
love.
Clitcoin. Depends on how much you pay.
Or shitcoin if you're German.
That's right.
Das ist gut.
So you know that is on my mind before I go to sleep, and one of the dreams I had was, for whatever reason, you guys were trying to get me to take a picture with a half boner in my pants. So you're like, get a boner. It'll be funny if we see the outline of your dick in your pants.
I'm actually a little upset that didn't actually happen and that we didn't do that. That sounds hilarious.
And I'm like, I can't just get hard in front of you guys. That's not how this works.
This is a dream that you had?
This is a dream that I had. And then listen to this. Then this girl, she goes, let me help you out. She pulls my penis out and starts to like
Smell
go
it?
for it. And I go, no. Like, I'm married. I can't do this. And then I start to get a half boner right away. She goes, see, it worked. And that was the end of the dream.
Did you cum in your pants?
No. Mm-mm.
Wow, you have some sick fucking nightmares, man.
He came in Joel's pants.
Oh. They share a room.
We Joel and I in the Airbnb, we're always roomies on the road. And this Airbnb, what was funny about it is the bathroom was downstairs and the 3 rooms were connected. So if you opened the 3 doors at once, you could literally look in like mine and Joel's room, Tony's room, and Redban's room. They're all lined up, and Joel and I are in little cozy twin beds right next to each other.
Do I remember you like at some point in the night going, Joel?
Yeah, I yell at you
You're
at least.
snoring.
I yell at you at least once a night.
Are you serious?
I
From
yell at
snoring?
Joel at least once a night.
Do you sleep on your
He
back?
wakes me up.
On my side.
On your side.
Yeah.
He starts snoring, and I literally have to go, Joel, stop snoring, or I go, Joel, roll over. I literally say that, and then he goes, oh, okay.
Do you remember when he's snoring, if he's on his back or not?
Well, it all depends how much he had to drink too.
I didn't. Oh.
Snores more.
Yeah.
If he drinks, he snores more.
It's the worst whenever he
Because I
drinks.
probably just pass out.
Yeah, he passes out, and it's in a weird position. So then it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't drink.
There's
last night a lot.
a lot of things when you're rooming with somebody else that you find out about in the middle of the night. Yeah.
We did have a haunted door in our room, though.
Okay, that was weird because there's a little opening, like a cubby hole, like it was curtained off, and then Joel goes, there's a room behind that curtain, right? I go, shut up. I
Jeremiah goes, we have to open it.
I go, we have to open it. And it was nailed shut, which made me even more terrified that there was a demon or something that was lurking on the other side of the door. And Joel kept freaking me out before we kept going to bed that there was somebody behind there. And I said that it was twins that were dead and that we were staying in their twin beds.
Because somebody's knocking back on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I had all that swirling in my head right before going to sleep.
Was
So
that the only dream that you had?
No, I had this dream that I was hanging out with Ben Savage from Boy Meets World, and I was like, "What happened, man? You were so great. Like, what are you doing now? Like, I want you to be in more things." And yeah, he didn't really have an answer for me. Do you guys dream very often?
Yeah.
Yes, I dream a lot every night.
Some of the top rising dreams.
Yes, I have a lot of the top rising dreams. Yes, exactly. Yeah, never about Ben Savage though. That's an interesting one. We should find out what he's up to. I bet he's working.
He's probably in on some. Well, he as the dad on Girl Meets World now.
There you go.
Yeah, but I don't like that show. I tried to watch it, but I mean, it's not made for me. It's made for little kids.
I've never seen either of these shows.
You've never seen Boy Meets World?
No.
It was part of the TGIF lineup on ABC back in the day.
Yeah, but
It
I'm
was
10 years
banging.
older than you guys, if not more.
That's true. What Redban? What was a recent dream that you remember?
Ooh. Shit. Oh, I had a dream about my car. That my car broke, and then I tried to get it fixed. And then, actually, let's talk about what Janice's dream was. She just wrote me, my girlfriend, and wrote, I had such a weird dream that I was a part of this Mexican family, and one of our family members died. And out of respect, we smoked her last of her cigarettes. Well, that's an odd dream.
That's a very odd dream.
That's crazy because Joel told me that he had a dream last night that he was part of an Asian family and one of them died and they had to smoke their cigarettes.
That's true.
Joel, did you have any dreams recently?
I can't remember I always remember my dreams like for like a couple hours after and then completely gone like 6 hours later.
Yeah, I just remember being yelled at by Jeremiah to stop snoring. That was it.
Yeah, that usually happens.
But that's real, though.
That's a real thing that happens. Yeah, we had a good time in Salt Lake City last night at the Kill Tony show. That was actually, that crowd was crazy. They're super into the show. It's kind of interesting to the different cities on the road who is like really good and like really into it, and then other audiences that you think are going to be a little bit more rambunctious or whatever, and they're like more reserved. Like I was shocked how reserved that Manchester audience was when we were there, because everybody kept telling us how crazy those fans and like how crazy the people are in general in Manchester. Yeah.
I think that's a case of a city that was just sort of like dumbfounded. I think it wasn't as big as it could have been in Manchester. It's sold out. It was a small venue.
I think the venue was weird too.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
were
being in
in
a
a
movie
theater, yeah.
It was like a movie theater.
Yeah, it's sold out like immediately. And that means, you know, those people are such big fans that they can't fucking believe that we're coming there. So then when we're actually there, they don't know how to sort of react. But we were also dead that day. So it was a give and take. They had more energy than we had.
Yeah, that was an interesting show, for sure.
We had food poisoning.
Had that food poisoning incident. Redban, in the last Roadcast episode that we did, one of the questions I asked Tony and Joel was, what's one of the worst places you've ever stayed at, like as far as gigging or in a hotel on the road? Do you have a bad hotel story? Or Airbnb?
You know, I don't really mess with I only mess with Airbnbs when I'm with you guys. I'm never Airbnb'd myself.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I like like last night's was great and stuff. I have something with, I just like being in a nice, it doesn't even have to be expensive, but it has to be like a clean hotel where I know they clean the sheets every day. I know they have the basic, you know, shit that I need. Like I love just like Courtyard by Marriott's and Residence Inns, you know, like $79 hotels that are usually have a nice clean bed. And I don't know, sometimes Airbnbs get a little sketch to me.
Tony brought up an Airbnb that we stayed at on the Monster Energy drink tour that I completely blocked out of my head, that there was a dog hair issue, and I stayed on there's like a couch or something that
I think you accidentally slept in a dog bed. That may also be part of the problem.
So it was a couch that was just covered in dog hair, and I was just like inhaling dog hair as I went to sleep, and I felt like I had something in the back of my throat the rest of the day. I was like,
oh, there was one place I stayed at where it was just gross. It was like a cheaper hotel, but inside the bed there was what looked like a condom that was washed with the sheets, so it melted into a ball. And I kept on touching it with my foot, like what the like I thought it was a tag of a sheet. Then I pulled it out, and it's just this melted condom.
and where was this at?
This I forget. I want to say
Residence Inn.
I want to say I was on the road with like Quigley or Dean Del Rey or somebody like that.
Wow.
I don't remember.
That's freaking crazy, dude.
Yeah. I had one of those melted condoms too. I was at the same hotel as you.
Huh? Yeah.
I said, I'm not going rubber to smother with you. All right.
Have you ever had the thing where you're in your room and then somebody else just walks in, like a guest with their luggage, like they gave the room to a whole nother person while you're inside? That happened to me twice, where I was just like sleeping and suddenly the door opens and I just hear somebody walking. I'm like, hello? And it's just a family of people coming in.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Those kids were scarred for life.
Yeah.
They just walk in on Redban, twirling a melted condom between his fingers. All right.
It's so kind of cool and weird to be traveling while doing a podcast, because as we look around, like we were passing like mountains and stuff earlier near Utah. Now we're
And buffaloes.
like and buffaloes and bison and saber-toothed tigers. It was wild. Now there's just like a lot of like open.
I don't think I've ever been to
space.
Idaho before, and I feel like anytime I'm in Idaho, or anytime somebody brings up Idaho, I always just go for the potato reference. So I don't really know anything else other than Idaho and potatoes.
Where do you guys think bison exist? Do you know where in America they live?
Fuddruckers.
Yeah, they're like
The bison burger. So they exist
the
in
Great
Fuddruckers.
Plains. Buffalo Wild Wings has a few.
Yes, all right, well, there you go. Here is where they exist, is the answer.
Probably Montana has some bison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're right next to Montana.
I'm aware.
There you go. Just to let you know.
I'm just gonna say that was just a brown cow earlier.
You weren't even looking.
I was looking directly. There's 5 brown cows.
You're taking Joel's side for comedic effect in this, and you know it. I can see the
Dude,
I believe it. I believe that he's with me.
You saw the brown cows, right?
I saw the brown cows. I heard Tony. There was another moment where I looked at straight up cows, and he goes, "Those are also bison."
yeah.
Yeah, they go. You go look. They're milking that bison.
Look at that white bison with those black spots on it. What's going on with that? Is that a Dalmatian bison?
Oh my god.
It's the bison cheese factory right here. Wow.
All right. Well.
Do you know horse milk is a real product that you can buy and drink?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
did you buy it? Why are you...
No, I saw a thing the other day on it where like it's becoming more and more popular because there's all these like almond milks and different kinds of milks lately, and then that horse
There's
milk.
like cashew milk.
Yeah, cashew milk's good, but horse milk I guess doesn't taste the best.
One thing I've learned while working in a coffee shop is white people love oat milk.
Yeah,
oat milk is.
Redban saying that like it's a shock, and Tony's just like sitting driving, just like, yeah, of course it doesn't taste good. It's a horse.
Tony's trying to make a bison appear with his mind just so he can prove us wrong.
He's like, there it is. It's a bison.
We're gonna see a bison before the end of this podcast, and I'm gonna make you tilt that camera towards it, and it's gonna be like goddamn Bigfoot video. We're gonna roll it back and hey, what's that over there?
A bicentennial.
You guys ever see Silence of the Lambs with Bison Bill and Tony? That's Buffalo Bill. No. I'm pretty sure it's a bison.
Yeah, a lot of bison boys out here.
A lot of bison boys.
Oh man.
What's the weirdest? We do a lot of meet and greets after these shows for Kill Tony, and for the most part, everybody is super cool and super nice. And there was this one guy last night though that was so drunk that he kept forgetting that he already hugged Redban.
No, I think he was just flirting with me or something because he like literally hugged me like twice, and then
I
like
saw a bison over there.
Wait, what's over there in that field right there? What are those? Let's see.
You think that guy was flirting with you, Redban?
I did because he like tried to hug me like multiple times, and he was very aggressive about it.
He was a drunk fan. You think he wanted to butt fuck you?
Well, he literally
flirting to that is a pretty big extreme, but I mean, I guess so.
He hugged me, and then like
Tony
5 minutes later, he goes, "Can I get another hug, bro? Or can I get a hug?" And I'm like, "You already hugged me." He goes, "No, I didn't." And I'm like, he goes, "Let me hug you one more time." And I'm like, "Okay." And then Jeremiah, then like 1 minute later, he goes, "Can I get a hug, Brian?" And Jeremiah's like, "Dude, you've hugged him like already twice."
I had to jump in. You've hugged him enough. Please move on, buddy. Guys, it's that way Redban didn't have to be the dick in the situation.
Yeah. Jeremiah the cock blocker Watkins over here. My God. Saving people from bear attacks.
Bear attacks.
Who's the bear in this situation?
Redban.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Or a bison, whatever you want to call it.
Redban, what are you looking at on your laptop back there?
Juicy Asians on Reddit.
Oh my goodness.
Juicy Asians. What do we call them? Dumplings?
Oh man.
Joel, how you doing back there, buddy?
Oh, just back here with Redban looking at this weird stuff every couple seconds. What the fuck?
Oh.
What is it?
I'll just say that the caption says, "Who wants to fuck me next?"
Jesus Christ.
It was a big gaping vagina.
Just to let you guys know, it's 1:35 in the afternoon right now.
1:35 in the afternoon.
1:35 in the afternoon right now. There is a creep watch in the middle of the SUV in the Yukon in Idaho.
Country.
We are coming in strong to Boise, Idaho later this evening, but there is a 24-hour creep watch in effect while Brian Redban is in the state of Idaho.
God. I'm looking up bison sound effects. I want to know what a bison sounds like.
I can tell you.
Oh! No, it goes. No, it's moo.
It's so crazy. I don't know why you don't believe me. Like, I don't know what a bison looks like. It has a flatter head than a cow.
Can we get the National Geographic description of that? Right here, we've got a bison.
Do you do copyright for National Geographic? It's a flat-headed cow. Oh fuck!
Now, as you can see here, kids, this is a bison cow. It's got the same head as a cow, but it's just a little bit flatter.
You guys do know that bisons and cows are extremely closely related, right?
Well, now you're splitting hairs.
No, hares are more like a bunny rabbit.
Oh, there's some
But
bison.
you do know that they're practically the same.
Yeah, sure.
when you say sure, like, I mean,
No. We totally.
Just so you can see what a bison looks like, Jeremiah.
yeah.
Yeah, that looks nothing like a freaking
Tony
cow.
starts sweating. He goes, "Oh."
He goes, whoops.
Of course, I know what a bison looks like. It's got feathers. It's got a.
It has a mating call that's like. All right. Okay.
Oh
right.
shit!
This is good old fun. Bisons and friendships, you know what I mean?
God damn it!
Redban, we missed you in the other episode in the car
Yeah,
because you flew into Vegas.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Anyway,
Wow.
this is,
You know, those Southwest flights from Burbank Airport were only $179. So I was like, you know what? Let's just take this. Sometimes flying when flying's cheap, it's great. You know, especially out of Burbank Airport.
This
Burbank
episode
Airport.
is sponsored by the city of Burbank.
I've never flown out of Burbank.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
really though.
luxury.
If every airport was like Burbank Airport, I would fly every day.
It'd be way easier.
hell yeah. It's a smaller airport than LAX.
And you could you walk right into the plane, like you don't, like it's outside, and you could either go on the front or the back. So you could actually like just go to the back of the airplane and sit down if you want to.
When
It's,
you exit, do they let you do
yeah.
that? Man,
which
I-
is so much
ugh.
faster when you can get out the front
Yeah,
and the
two
back
ways.
of an airplane.
Yeah. What is with when they finally let you take your seatbelts off and it's time to get out? Why do the people from the back like stand up and grab their like you still have to wait for everyone up front to get out? Like why don't
Some
they
people just want to stand up, I think.
I guess it feels like some people want to like rush and they end up just clogging everything.
I hate the people that try to ditch you. It's like everyone's going in order.
Dude.
Why are you trying to like
That kind of is a huge pet peeve of mine whenever I'm traveling. If somebody tries to, like, in a row or two, tries to cut ahead, I'm like, everybody's filing out
Yeah.
single file from seat to seat. What are you trying to do? I've literally looked at somebody and I go, do you not know how planes work?
Wow.
Whenever I get real snippy on flights.
Yeah, once a week. Every flight. I've seen somebody open like the window next to Jeremiah. Or no, you said someone opened it, you like lean over them and closed it. And you're
No.
like,
This guy leaned over me to open the window whenever
it.
I was at the window seat, and I looked at him directly in his eyes, and I shut it right back because I'm like, that's my freaking window, and the sun's out. What are you doing? I'm trying to nap.
People are so dumb on airplanes. It's truly, I mean, it's
Oh,
mind-boggling to me. And I hate to say it. Oh, look at all those bison over
Bison
there.
farm.
Those
yeah.
are black cows.
No, I'm kidding. Those were cows.
Underneath his sunglasses, his eyes are shifting like, ugh.
His eyeballs are shaped like bisons. It's all he can
What?
see. I don't know. Maybe whatever. It's like a cartoony joke that didn't work in real life. So.
Anyway, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be the bad guy because you need people like me to say, hey, look at Tony. You know, that's the bad guy. But I'm going to say it is that also, depending on the city that you're going to or coming from, you can really get a vibe for how fucking stupid people are from certain places. Like where they say, oh, things move a little bit slower in the South. Like, yeah. Well, you can tell that immediately if you're flying into the South. Like, I mean, there's some exceptions, like, you know, Dallas, Austin, Houston. Those are sort of like business hubs, so it's not that bad. But, you know, say, remember Raleigh, North Carolina, and, you know, upstate New York is a garbage pile. Just a pure pile of stupid people up there. You know, there's a lot of them. I'm sure you're gonna get a vibe for it in on that June leg of this tour. Omaha, Nebraska, Lawrence, Kansas. I mean, whatever we're flying into, it's gonna fucking bag of dicks is what it is, because it's gonna suck. So
I think that's a little negative way to look at it.
I gave it a preface, but my point is you know, flying back to LA a lot, for example, you get a good barometer for it. You could tell where you're flying in from based on how they act on the plane. You know, another perfect example, flying to Vegas. You know, you're almost bound to be on a plane with a lot of idiots, a lot of dumb tourists that, you know, work hard for their money and are about to go blow it in Vegas. They're about to blow their hard-earned money. And, you know, there's also smart people that go to Vegas. There's smart people that go to Raleigh. There's smart people that fly to upstate New York. But if you're sitting in the middle of an airplane, you can get a good vibe for different places and how sort of trashy they can be. This is America, baby. I love it. Don't get it twisted. Like, it's a great thing. But it is annoying when you fly as much as we do. You notice these things more. If you don't fly a lot, then you don't know what fucking speed people get off a plane. Right? Like, oh, hey, this is how people get off of planes. I don't fucking know. Right. But when you fly every goddamn weekend, you learn pretty quickly, like, oh, look at these idiots. Like, it's mind-boggling. Atlanta's a good example. I mean, I love Atlanta. Huge city. But a lot of bad travelers mixed into these flights. A lot of obese people mixed into these flights. A lot of people
bison.
drinking fucking, you know, giant fountain.
That's what Tony calls fat people on planes. Dude, I sat next to this bison the other day on a plane, dude. It was crazy.
I once sat next to who's the guy from Street Fighter? Commander Bison.
M. Bison, yeah.
M. Bison,
Bison.
yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a way to make that joke since I got into this car, but
Keep trying.
I know.
So Brian, I asked this question to Tony on the last episode of what were some of his favorite characters that we've done as a band. Do you have any that we've done? It could be even more obscure. Maybe we've only done once, or it could be some of the recurring ones. But do you have ones that we've done where you're like, yeah, I like these?
We were just talking today about how, speaking of Street Fighter, you guys did Street Fighter once and how great that was. You know, like Joel was Blanco and you're Ryu, and of course Chroma Chris was Ken or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I really like those because you looked exactly like the characters. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I was talking to we were talking about that at lunch, but those were hard to like improvise as, because we don't really know. Like, I guess we could have made our own like interpretation of those, which if we bring them back we might, but we played it pretty straightforward, like video game characters, and they're literally two-dimensional characters.
Yeah.
So
I also like the Mario Brothers. I thought that was a fun one.
well, you had tons of sound effects for that one and stuff.
I have a whole soundboard just for that episode.
Yeah,
That was the day you got waxed.
That was the day I got waxed. Yeah.
Because for some reason, while you're getting it done, we're like Chris is Toad and I'm Luigi, and I'm watching you get your balls waxed, and it's a funny visual.
Yeah. I was Mario and Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers that night.
Somebody wants us to bring that back, by the way.
What's that?
The Red Hot Chili Peppers. They go. Do it again.
Yeah. We'll bring the Peppers back at some point.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
When are you gonna do it?
We never say.
Oh, you don't want to give it away now?
Hey.
Okay, it was a bison. I believe it. After that sort of sharpness.
Whoa.
God.
That's
damn it.
all it took, dude. Just one little thing. Dude, there's a farm of bison that we're passing right over there. That's wild.
They are. Bison are wild.
So, is there some characters that you may at first, whenever we brought them out, you're like, I don't know if these are gonna work, and then you ended up liking them?
Probably the milkman. You know, like at first it's like, oh, milkman. How this is gonna get boring, or you know, like they're just milkmen,
Right.
But then the dynamic of especially Joel's drunk character. What's his name?
Bill Billingsley.
Well, yeah, I'm constantly scolding him.
Yeah.
Because like he's on one end of the spectrum of like the super nice guy, and then his life is just like falling apart on stage.
Bill went to jail in Phoenix that night.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Dude, I heard that Bill was showing his pubes to a bunch of fans after the shows, and Redban actually had to scold him.
Could be a reason why he went to jail. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a while till.
Yeah,
we see that
I
guy
actually heard that Bill Billings was kind of showing his butt and taking pictures with his butt out in the lobby of Stand Up Live in Phoenix. Did you hear about that, Redban?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Wow.
All right, top hated characters, Redban.
Oh.
Tony, I know you were jonesing. I'll get to you in a second. Or I can start with Tony, Redban.
Yeah, start Tony.
All right.
Because I already know what he's gonna say.
Puppeteers.
That's really?
Yes.
Really that's one at the top of your list now?
Yep. It's at the tippity top, actually. It's almost past mental patients, which I know that we will never see again. But
You will see those again.
yeah, on an episode of Jeremiah Wonders, perhaps. But yeah, Puppeteers is my new least favorite.
We debuted the Puppeteers on the episode of Kill Tony Las Vegas, and I'm actually shocked to hear that surpassed mental patients.
Well, it didn't really surpass mental patients because, mental patients to me were so bad that they're just off the list. Like, I think every once in a while it should be part of your repertoire to, retire some of these things that don't work. You don't have to do every joke you ever wrote. Some things you test out and you're like, it's not really in our wheelhouse. You can put them to rest. But I mean, Puppeteers is just way too busy, too much going on. Then the puppets are responding to you after you scold them about something. There's just too much going on. It's already a busy show. It's already the busiest podcast anywhere, ever. So when there's, 8 band members instead of 2, that's a big deal. Chroma Chris works as a member of the full-time band because he doesn't float a lot of things out there. You guys are both, on top of the jokes, always thinking, Jeremiah and Joel are always there listening to the show, figuring out a way to get the characters in. And when there's that much going on, it's just a little bit too much. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. I will say this, is that if it was, the black puppets, for example, and just them, and the Puppeteers weren't like, oh, why would you say that? Oh, I believe it. Oh, but you're not supposed to say it. Oh, but come on. You know what I mean? Like, there's parts where it just becomes a whole different fucking show.
Oh, that gives me an idea. I mean, what if this might be blowing down the third wall, but if we came out in all black with black masks on, like we were not even there, and the puppets were is the only way that we talked?
Hey, yes, that's what I'm saying. As long as there's not a ton of people talking.
Yeah.
'Cause it's there are.
Joel's talking about being in the black bodysuits, like the Lycra bodysuits.
Yeah.
That Puppeteers use for some big like production shows.
Yeah. Like even like a green screen suit.
Yeah. Yeah, could be interesting.
Because then it's just one voice. I did find it difficult. I when I got out there, I was like, oh, I'm fucking like in deep water here.
Everyone knows I'm in over my head. Know that song?
Yeah.
8 seconds.
I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. That ledge, my friend.
Do another song, Jeremiah. Let's see if we can make it. If we could change the lyrics to that.
Okay. Well, I want you got and handle like a flame to a candle.
My friend.
Step back from that, let my friend do. Oh, bo bo. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, he's really good at it. I don't know how he does it.
He's almost as good at that as he is at spotting bison.
Oh wow, this is really
All right, character.
heavy episode.
It really is.
Bison are heavy, man.
Characters
Right.
that you did not like, Redban.
And I'll even say this is that, you know, Street Fighter, Mario, I mean, really, Street Fighter, great looking, some of the best looking characters, but to me, looks mean almost less than nothing.
That's what I was saying about, like, the ones that sometimes if we nail the look, like, if we don't have, like, if we don't have a well of stuff to draw from, then it's just not, you know.
To me, it's all about perspective from the characters.
Well, that's what any good character, it's all about point of view and perspective. So, I agree with you on that.
The ones that I love are the ones that I don't even get your joke at first, and then a second later, I'm like, oh, it's because he's so-and-so.
Gotcha. Redban?
I don't really have any ones that stick out that I didn't like, because they're all funny. Because I think even if they're not the strongest characters, you just doing the characters and in that like, it still makes me laugh. So I don't have any, like, I've never had one where I'm like, I hate those characters, those are horrible characters.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah, you didn't like the mental hospital patients. I mean, it just simply didn't work.
Well, the only one that I still feel bad about is the old people when I ran the Rascal Scooter into the table and the drinks got on Redban's iPad.
And my lap. How about that? What about my lap?
Dude, the iPad's way more important than your lap.
All right, well.
I had to buy a new iPad.
Yeah.
I know. And that made me feel pretty horrible.
Yeah, you look like you feel real bad about
The
it.
casualties from the show.
I am so annoyed right now.
What's up?
So Burbank has its own water and electricity.
Back to
And-
Burbank stuff.
It's not like a big electric company, and there's always problems with billing, to the point where I've like done auto pay so many times, but then I'll wake up and have no power, and they're like, "Oh, we don't see any auto pay," and I'm like, "It worked for the last 4 months. How do you not see it?" Well, my girlfriend just texted me like, "Hey, our power's out," and so I try to log into Burbank Power, and it's like my passwords aren't working, and I try to like forget password. It says, "Oh, we don't see an account." There's an email they sent me like 3 months ago. Hey, new website. All your old information doesn't transfer over, so you need to re-register and do a new auto pay. So like, fucking so
I
annoying.
always forget my passwords on billing sites.
Yeah.
Because they make you do so many case sensitive and
Well, there's
different
a
ones.
app that I recommend. It's called Passable, and you just put all your passwords into one app. And so then anytime you forget it, you just go to this one app, and it unlocks, and you can see all your passwords.
Cool. It's all encrypted or whatever?
Yeah, it's all super encrypted.
That's cool.
What do you guys think about the evolution of the regulars on the show? Because we started out with, with the female regulars, and now we've had Malcolm Hatchett, African American male, and now we have William Montgomery, a Caucasian male. For me, it's been kind of interesting just to see where the following of the show how that's developed with the regulars, because I feel like back in the day there wasn't as like a strong of a connection with the regulars as there are now. Like what happened with Malcolm, like he was instantly embraced like by the Kill Tony fan base, and then William I feel like he's grown a little bit more steadily with like people like getting on board with what he does, because it's very different.
It's a battle of styles, you know. Everybody has their different hooks and styles, and Malcolm, clearly a short joke specialist, not necessarily one-liners, still set up punch, but quick fire, so it works with the format of the show. He's got a likable delivery, an extremely positive, lively attitude. So he's a very likable comedian. And we didn't always have that in the regular spot. Ali, very dry, very deadpan. Great writer, but not as divisive. Some jokes are different. Sometimes it'll be a story about what happened. Sometimes it'll that week or whatever. Sometimes it'll be a joke. Sometimes it'll be self-deprecation. Sometimes it'll be about other people. So, a little bit looser of a dry, more, I won't say unlikable, but compared to Malcolm or a William, one could almost easily say, less likable. But that wasn't really the move back then. It started off as a way for just us to be good people and be sort of equal opportunity, even because the number of signups in the bucket originally was greatly outweighed men to women. We even had a bison sign up once before.
You motherfucker, that was coming.
I know. I could hear you laughing, and it's the only thing making you laugh right now. So, I love the evolution of the regulars on this show. I wouldn't change a single thing. I wouldn't back anything up a week or not. We tried hard with Melissa Esslinger, and trying's a part of things, just like I was just saying about the characters. Sometimes you gotta let things go if it's just not working at all. And, so Melissa Esslinger is sort of an example of that. At that time, it didn't work at all for the show, and it was a regular momentum killer. And what William's doing right now is just unbelievable because he's so different that he actually cracks me up. A lot of the times, even Malcolm would, I loved him, and he would make the audience crack up, but I don't think anyone's ever been on the show that makes me laugh harder than William. He's so funny looking. He sounds funny. If I were to be a William troll, I guess one could say, I saw something on social media or something. Somebody said William's a bad writer, and it's like, well, I guess you could say that because he's not real when he's not doing. He doesn't do a lot of jokes, but when he does do jokes, they kill harder than almost any other jokes. So it's tough to say that. I think stylistically, he doesn't appear to be writing, but
he definitely has a formula. It's going to be interesting to see how that, like a year later, if that formula can still hold up.
Well,
it's
that's the thing is like what's interesting to me is like when the audience is ready for the regular to graduate, quote unquote, to get a new regular or not. It's interesting, like how we're kind of discovering that along the way.
And my bet is that people aren't going to want William to graduate for a while. William has a little bit more star power, I think, than anybody we've ever had on before. Just on even appearance alone, I think people want to see William Montgomery. They want to hear William. They want to see if he's going to make us laugh. I think he's a little bit different than any regular we've ever had on the show. And the cool thing is that now it's evolved to where the regular position on Kill Tony has become a place to sort of get a real career started. I mean, how cool is that? Sure, you could get picked up by, I don't know, SNL or whatever and, get something going, nowadays. But for sure, people that get in that spot immediately get heavy representation. They come up with a plan with an actual team, and it's just an actual career jumper. It used to be, wow, if you become a regular on Kill Tony, you get spots here and spots with at the Ice House on the Death Squad shows, and you get maybe it's easier to get a job at the Comedy Store, things like that. And now it's just on a whole new level. Hey, Bison.
Oh, nice. Joel, I'm going to start with you on this question.
Cool.
I'm going to go around because I think that this would be a fun one to answer since we're on the road, all being good fun. but I think that this will be a funny question to see what everybody says. Of each person that's in this car, what is a pet peeve that somebody does on the show that is a pet peeve of yours?
On the show?
It could be on the show.
Huh. I don't know. Let me think. I feel like you just want to say what yours are.
Brian, do you have any pet peeves of any things on the show?
Well, I know that Joel is very like, you know, ADD, would you say?
Yeah.
So I don't even think he realizes that he does it where he's almost constantly always playing the drums, you know, like out of excitement. So like you'll just see him like just kind of like playing constantly through the whole thing, which, you know, thank God I you know, before I edit all the audio, I turned down that a lot, because if it wasn't that, if I didn't have that ability to, the whole podcast would have a soundtrack of Joel's ADD on the drums. And, you know, that when you're working out with your headphones on, that could probably be very, very distracting.
Sure.
So
Fair point.
Okay, great. Joel, do you have one?
Huh.
We're opening the can of worms now.
No,
This is exciting.
I feel
This
like
is how we grow.
all the pet peeves I have about the show are things that I do that I wish I would stop, or like whatever. Like I just, but I'm trying to learn, trying to sit back, home runs only, trying to listen more. You know, I think whatever, everybody, what the fuck are you guys laughing? No, I'm kidding. I want to know what you guys have to say. I'm thinking.
intervention, Joel.
I'll jump out of this fucking car right now, right into bison country, and you'll never see me again. Ah!
Tony?
It's all like Joel shit too. It's like,
Yeah, it's really, you know, Joel, I was going to say, you know. No, I mean, I'm very open on this show about the things that annoy me, mostly in the sound effect department. Any sound effects that, so I allow only one fart per episode.
Redban, rebuttal.
Which somehow...
One fart is fair.
That's my friend. Do. Just getting back now after having to change out the batteries real quick. Anything can happen on the road, on the Roadcast. Anything can happen.
Really?
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And the questions that we were asking, we'll go backwards just a little bit.
Well, you could probably just go to the audio of the camera and just
It'll
have
sound a little. I guess we could.
Yeah, that's more better.
All right, that's more better. You heard from Redban, ladies
Mo
and
Better
gentlemen.
Monday.
Okay, so Tony had just said that he.
I'm very open about Unkill Tony. I'm very open about things that I find annoying. You know, sometimes to me there's a lot of, you know, distractions in the sound effect department. Usually it's sound effects of farting or usually, and Redban's agreed with me on this every time we've talked about it, but somehow, again, every episode it makes an appearance. Any sound effects that have like a voice in it, like I guess the one is the annihilation one is okay, right? Any sound
Fatality.
effects where there's words.
Yeah. Well, no. The only voice one, I agree with that. The only voice ones I usually use is the fatality or
Trump.
Trump's
the
a big
Trump.
one. Snoop.
For shizzle dizzle.
I don't even do this Snoop Dogg much anymore.
But there's like a bunch of buttons that is almost never played on the episode. But, you know.
Yeah, I never use those.
Over almost 6 years now, we've tried, you know, you try different things and this and that. You know, there's a fine line. Like any of the sound effects where people say things I find annoying.
Yeah, I agree.
But then again, there's like, if the sound effect is, it's been, like that much of a little bit of,
yeah,
you know, difference or recognizability that I love. And every once in a while there's a pile on, I guess, of sound effects. But again, on the show, I'm very, you could see me literally like, Brian, what are you doing?
Redban, rebuttal. Do you have anything that Tony does?
Roast battle? What do you mean rebuttal?
No. let me do this. Rebuttal. Redban, do you have anything that Tony does that annoys you at points?
Great start to the tour.
We're bonding, fleshing things out.
No, I mean, sometimes, he has his little fits, but for the most part, everything runs pretty smooth nowadays.
Oh, I got another one. The flashlight. If that flashlight could stay away during it's so hard.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you saw this or not, but their teeth glowed. So it looked really cool when they came out. That's why I was shining it on them, because their teeth glowed.
Great for a podcast.
For the video podcast, yes, it was great.
I don't know if I need glowing teeth on.
You know what was cool? When you lit up the water bottle.
Yep.
Last night when you were like, sell the water bottle, and you lit it up.
Again, I mean, I think we're talking about things that we don't like, right? So anyway, all I'm saying is that
this is why this is fun.
Yeah.
For who? You're like,
right.
You set like a bomb and walked away, Jeremiah.
No, Joel, you have to pick something.
Jeremiah, what is something that you don't like about what Tony does on the show?
Yeah, and it's just 2 things you don't like about what Redban does.
And then me and you make out. All right.
Well, the only thing that for me, and we've already talked about it off stage, so it's not a surprise. If Tony, in my opinion, is not supportive of the character early on, it really hurts us, in my opinion, during the episode, because we start off in the negative rather than be able to
give us a couple examples, please.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Redban
Couple
and
examples.
I are on the same page. Give us a couple of examples of characters that I've buried.
Part of it is a miscommunication on our end and your end if we don't label things properly, and I think that's why a couple of the ones that were hated by you guys. Mental patients was one, because you labeled us as crazy people, just crazy.
What would you call it?
Mental patients.
Okay.
It's a big difference, even though it's a subtle thing.
You're saying that if I called you mental patients, it would be better for you than if I called you crazy people?
Absolutely. As soon as you label somebody crazy, you start discrediting everything that they say.
Did you correct me when I said crazy people to what you are? Were you like, oh, we're not crazy people, we're mental patients?
I don't remember,
but I said that's what I'm saying. Part of it is a problem on our end too. If we didn't label,
we had that problem with we were supposed to be different drugs.
We were supposed to be embodying different drugs,
and you called us drug addicts, and we didn't correct you. We should have said, no, we're not drug addicts. We are the drugs.
All right. By the way, you can add that to the list of characters that I didn't like.
Well, yeah, that was one that didn't go well.
I know. You want to know what my favorite is that Jeremiah hates? We were chefs one time.
God.
And out of nowhere, Jeremiah goes, he wants to be a Jamaican chef, so he wore dreadlocks. And it was like the dumbest.
It's my least favorite character I've ever done on stage.
What are some of like the jokes you made?
It was literally like the
You want jerk chicken?
You want some jerk chicken? It was literally the evolution of Skeeta, of doing the character Skeeter, like the white dreadlock guy who is kind of like an island guy. It was the evolution of before Skeeter. It was like pre-Skeeter. So it was like all this stuff that was like, I was just wanting to do that character, but I didn't have the vehicle for it yet. So it was just that.
I thought chefs would be a great time to
And
do
also
it.
Gym Rats. That's up there for me. It's one of my least favorite characters.
I agree. I didn't like Gym Rats.
I hated Gym Rats so much, yeah.
I cannot believe that you hated gym rats more than mental patients. I can't believe it. It went so bad. At least the gym rats, you guys just looked fucking like I've never seen you guys look like almost like it's like it was like if an orphanage put on like a musical or something. Like you guys had such sadness behind your eyes, like especially you, Jeremiah. And I've seen you.
I was having to move the snout to play saxophone.
I've seen you literally do thousands of characters, but I've never seen you more ashamed to be a character than you were when you were Gym Rats, because you weren't even Gym Rats. You were literally, the character was sad Gym Rats.
Yeah, that was a rough one. We've had. What? Do you remember some characters that we dressed up as where you couldn't tell what it was right away? We were like, what?
I mean, last night, for example, it's always fun for me because you've obviously only done Vampire Elvis now twice as of last night.
Yeah.
So
And that character is from almost 2 years ago.
Right.
That's like an old one.
Right. So when I first saw you guys last night, I'm like, first thing I thought was, okay, vampires. And I'll make a Danny Trejo joke for Joel, who looks exactly like a tiny Danny Trejo. That's going to go good. And by the time you made it to the microphone, I go, we've seen these guys before, or I don't think we've ever had vampires on the show before, is what I said. And you put your finger up, and that's when I was reminded of Vampire Elvis. So a question, with that said, this is a question I was going to ask you anyway before we went to this subject. But how did Vampire Elvis come to be?
What's funny about that is I was just supposed to be a normal Elvis, and you started making fun of me at the top of the show. You're like, this guy looks like a Vampire Elvis. And then I just committed to it. I go, that's my name, Vampire Elvis, baby. And I was Vampire Elvis the rest of the episode. And I was just going to be a normal episode, but since you made that appearance joke, I literally took half a millisecond. I was like, oh, I do look like that. I'm that.
Wait, so what were?
That's amazing.
So then what were? So you were a ghost of Elvis. I was a vampire. Because weren't you like a vamp? You were just a regular vampire
What?
when you were Elvis. The first time that you
No,
were.
the very first time we were just going to be vampires.
Okay, because you said you were just gonna be Elvis. So you mean you were just gonna be a vampire, and then he said,
No. We were vampires.
yeah.
Yeah. And he was saying, just like he made
Oh my God, so what happened was he was wearing a cape, right?
Yeah.
And probably a collared shirt.
Yeah.
I was wearing exactly what, yeah.
Right.
I was wearing during the Salt Lake City episode.
Wow. So he was basically doing an Elvis, and he had the wig, but the wig, that wig, because you don't want to fuck with it to make it look like Elvis, who sort of has like a flippy drip, right, on the front of his haircut type of thing. It's all slicked back, so naturally he looked like a vampire. So, but you didn't even realize that until I said it, right?
Until you made the appearance joke.
And since you agreed with it so much, you rolled with it.
But wait,
'Cause that's what it looks like.
I'm confused. I think we're backwards. The things are backwards here. We were all vampires.
We were all vampires.
in Hollywood.
At the Comedy Store.
That's what I mean. But
Yeah.
you came out with teeth and everything.
Yeah,
And then
as a
Tony
vampire.
said, yeah. Then Tony said you look like Elvis, and then you were Vampire Elvis.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. Because he was backwards about it. He thought you came out as Elvis.
No. I came out as a vampire, and you made the joke that I look like Elvis.
Are you guys listening to the same podcast as me?
That's what I'm
Yeah,
like.
no, because I heard Tony hear it backwards. I was just trying to clarify.
I was like, what? Now we've said it 3 different ways, but
Okay, but now we got to the.
but we
point.
got
Yeah,
to it.
finally.
Now
Thank
everybody gets it.
God. Jesus, so glad we did that.
Well, we didn't actually talk about it 3 ways. We actually had it right.
Okay.
We were talking about last night in Salt Lake City.
This is one of my. This is something that is a pet peeve if we run something into the ground.
We didn't though. We didn't. We think that we did. Now those of you that
You
like
want
to
to talk
go
about
down
running
on a-
into the ground?
Oh,
All right,
okay,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay,
let's
no.
just- Okay, forget it. We
Sorry.
were fine. We were talking about 2 different appearances. We were talking about the first one at the Comedy Store and Salt Lake City, not the same one. They got.
No, I know.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We all heard the same thing. We were just talking about 2 different things. So we didn't ruin it.
No. I was saying we heard it 3 different times because I said it, then you said it, and then Joel to re-explain it.
That's Trace.
Wow.
Anyway. Yes. Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
One of my least favorite things on the show is Joel doing his William Montgomery impression.
I feel bad.
I agree with that. In fact, I'll take a one, and it's not even things that I hate. It's something that was corrected early on. Redban and I realized early on that the less sound effects or really almost anything during William, the better.
Yeah.
Because much like having mental patients on with Todd Glass, having sound effects with William,
It's too zany.
Right, because he's already got all the zane.
That's
Sound
true.
effects with a normal human, like a person that answers things honestly, you know what I mean? Then it's like, whoa, that's fucking, you know what I mean? Like there's something to it. These are things that we had to organically figure out. You know what I mean? There was nobody like William before we had it. So that's an interesting fun fact, is not only is Joel's impression of him too much when it happens, but sound effects during William, like he's sort of his own part of the show, which I think is cool. It gives everything else a breath before we go towards that final mountaintop where we have to chase a dragon for the final pick.
It's like it's just so fun to do. That's why I know it's like
Don't hate me.
No, I don't. Not at all. Now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That's a lot of things. Like you don't think you're doing anything kind of like wild or wrong until somebody brings it to your attention, and then you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm not too like full of myself to hear like a suggestion or something and not take it in. You know, I can learn from my mistakes.
One of my least
Is
favorite
this door unlocked?
one of my least favorite things for me, this is just like a general thing, is if we end the show and my last joke of the night was a clunker. It messes with me the rest of the night.
Oh yeah.
One thing that I really like that you guys do, but you guys always forget, I think, is when somebody does shitty.
I've been doing that a lot.
I know
lately.
you have,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Joel never does it, so it doesn't sound as it should. Because
I don't know when you're gonna do it. You mean like the
Like we don't play the song like well.
you're supposed to
it
kind of be
devolves.
off on
Like
your
it's
drums,
like
like sounds like a broken down carousel or something.
Okay.
Symbols for
We'll
you. It'd be
practice
just
that.
Like, ting, ting, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Like just like sloppier basically.
Gotcha. I know exactly. Yeah, like we're
Yeah.
breaking down. like the
I
Ching
love
Band.
that. There was one time recently,
We
I forget
nailed
which
it
episode,
recently.
that worked so
Oh, cool.
perfect
Yeah.
that even the audience got it. Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
All right. Well,
Welcome back to Jeremiah Wonders.
I'm wondering a lot about
Yeah.
different things this episode, because is there anything that any notes that Redban or Tony you'd like to give Joel and I, since we're in the same car and we're on this road, we're on a freaking tour right now. This is exciting. We're hitting a bunch of different states and cities, and is there anything that you like that we do, or do you want us to keep up, or that we are not doing that you might want to see?
I do think sometimes that when we're interviewing somebody, like say like we ask him, hey, where did you grow up? And he's like telling us, I feel like a lot of times all of us interrupt the person too much.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Like sometimes he's like, well, I've been trying to say it 5 times, where
Right.
everyone's trying to get out jokes, which is fine. But I also think sometimes it's really annoying to listen to like somebody trying to answer a question over and over and over and over.
Which means
Yeah.
I also have to ask it again. I have to reset it again, so they have to hear that again, and perhaps still no answer. Which I think, it's one of those chaotic things where when you're doing a raw, unproduced, completely improvised show, it's crazy. But that's the note I've given the most on this show to
yeah,
you
listen.
guys, and you know what I mean. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword, because sometimes you guys will get a joke out there and interrupt that fucking absolutely destroys, you know what I mean? Or perhaps even inspires me to ask it a different way or to think a different way. And I think you guys have gotten a lot better at that too. I think that
It's a balance. It's just like we're trying to find that footing all the time of like, oh, okay, yeah, we need to let this breathe a little bit more before we contribute another joke. Let the story be told, so then we will be inspired for new jokes rather than cutting it off too early and not getting enough, yielding as much result as you would waiting a little bit longer.
And also, the more we find out, the more we fucking find out, the more we actually have to work with. Instead of racing to a joke about the one thing we know about them, again and again and again, and making the joke about, the bison or whatever it is, you know what I mean? You just find like a different thing they give you the information to make the jokes. Like, I mean, perfect example, like, in which it's a little bit more of an extreme because you knew what you were doing. But when you were, what's the reggae guy's name? Skeeter, and we're interviewing, oh my God, what's his name? Optimus?
Osiris.
About the this pet snake that he had, and he had to put the snake to sleep, and I'm like so fucking intrigued. And we didn't even find out that the snake, it was one of those things. And again, that's when it's good. But even when it's good, even when it's getting a laugh, even when it's funny, it can still drive me crazy. I mean,
I got another thing.
Because I couldn't believe by the time that we found out that the snake was tied to a chair, which was, I mean, you just can't beat that. And by the way, when the guests are really funny like that and they didn't even know it, and that just came out of thin air, that's the show to me, is giving them a chance to shine. Like, if we're supposed to hit home runs, the expectations for us are sky high. But when we drive that story out of somebody that they didn't even fucking okie dokie. The car played. What is happening here?
It's a weird split off in the
Going
road
towards traffic, but that guy over there is
weird.
what?
That's
the
like a
hell?
truck route that's on the other side. We're in a weird construction zone right now.
We're heading to. We're on the same side as the
Roadcast,
oncoming traffic.
Jeremiah wonders.
Wow.
Yeah, we're fine. This is just like, it's literally just splitting lanes.
Yeah, it was just weird how it happened.
Redban, you said you had something?
Yeah, I think we need to find a way, like when the music's playing and the person's coming up on the stage, there's too many times where it's like the guy's trying to talk or he's just waiting for the music to stop. And I know you guys want to like get to the end of the chorus part or whatever you guys are doing, but I think we need to find some kind of like easy, like where, you know, either it's a sound that you guys do where it's like a turn off a record sound or something, or because sometimes the guy's just sitting there waiting for the song to end and it's like 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, and then Tony has to like reset the, all right guys, give it up one more time, you know. And I think that could work a lot smoother. And even if it's like me like doing like a record sound, which means just stop all things or something like that, like, you know, like a record scratch sound or something, or yeah, or something like that.
Well, we can just, yeah.
You gotta
We'll just try to time it differently.
You gotta have your eyes up, and you gotta be willing to let go and perhaps have a signal to Joel or something to,
Or have
maybe cover the chorus part that you want to hit, that end part on the wrap up part or something like that, you know.
I think it might even be as easy as like at the store, as soon as they cross the table.
Yeah.
Like the second they cross the table, it doesn't matter if we're on the downbeat or the upbeat, just stop.
Yeah.
Just all
And
hands
I also
off.
think with this, since we're given the note about timing of the band, I should mention that I think the post set stings should always be within less than 5 seconds.
Yeah, because sometimes Tony wants to talk right to the.
And I've got something loaded up, and at that point, when you have something about their set or the thing, or maybe they didn't, you know, usually sometimes, though I guess if they end with a massive laugh on 60 seconds, then a 6-second sting might make sense, right? But sometimes they end on nothing, and then we're waiting, and it's like every second that ticks by, as you know, sometimes windows open and close, right?
Yeah.
Precious time.
So if it's about the material, if I have, you know what I mean? It should just be
I felt it too. Like as soon as they're done, and then I go, "Fuck! I gotta play these 6 seconds." Like before I make this joke. What if we just do like a dun dun, even like
it should be like
hit.
yeah.
Figure it out.
whatever the song is.
All this stuff is like, I feel like pretty conditional to the moment. But yeah, all good stuff. Yeah, see you guys making headway. Making headway. Yeah.
Wait till you see the comments on this. They're gonna be like, "Thank God they know what we all hate." Just kidding. I'm kidding. No, because people bitch all the time on like YouTube and stuff, and I'm like, everything they complain about. Well, mostly it's good. I'd say 90% is good stuff, and the end of the other stuff is like stuff that we all know that we're all trying to work on and do better.
I will
time.
say, Joel, your drum solos have gotten crazy good, dude.
Yeah, that last drum,
The
Mexican
Vegas
drum off, Vegas, was probably my favorite one that you've ever done. I mean, you just like took it to a different level that episode.
Cool.
And I don't know if it comes across in the audio and video. It might. I didn't really remember watching it again, but seeing it in person was like, whoa. The guy behind you that you just beat was just like looking at me like, what the fuck?
Oh,
like,
man.
Yeah.
that was a
It's
great,
awesome.
great one.
It's all fear. Thank you.
let's get to the final segment of Jeremiah Wonders. It wouldn't be Jeremiah Wonders without Sax Talk. Oh, Sax Talk. All right, this is Sax Talk. Got my little Saxy here with me now. And basically what's going to happen is Redban is going to share a story of a sexual encounter from his past, and I'm going to play some sweet, sweet sax underneath it. Whenever you're ready, Redban, I will follow you.
So one night I had a one-night stand, and I had had gone to the grocery store, and they had, I always stop by the clearance of a grocery store. You know, sometimes you can get some good shit like aspirin for 50% off or whatever. But this time they had like massage oils for 50% off, and it came with a hot and it came with a cold. And so I was having this one night stand, and I had a collection of vibrators from other ex-girlfriends that I have found out later that you're supposed to throw away. You're not supposed to keep vibrators, you know? I just thought, hey, you wash them off, they're, you know, you can reuse them. Who cares if they're my ex-girlfriends? So I thought to spice up this one night stand, I'd break out my box of vibrators. Now, maybe she thought, hey, this is creepy that he has this box of vibrators. So she was a little dry. So I busted out my oils.
Olive oil, canola oil.
Now, there was a hot oil and a cold oil. and so at first I used the cold oil, and I was like, yeah, I have some oil to, you know, lube up this vibrator. And I had a smaller vibrator that at first I was like, you know what? I might see if she likes a little butt play, and I'll put a little hot oil on this one.
Oh, no.
So I'm like fucking with both of these vibrators, like milking a cow sideways. And she had the cold one in her vagina and the hot one in her butt. And she said, hey, this hurts. So I thought she needed more oil. And I switched the oils, and I put the hot one and the cold one. I mixed them up, but I poured a lot. I poured like the whole bottle on each one of these vibrators. And I start fucking her hard with both of these vibrators. Then she jumps up, screams, and runs into the bathroom. And that's when I found out massage oil and vaginal oil is not the same. Do not put hot oil and cold oil into a woman's vagina and asshole. She was in the bathroom for 40 minutes. I never talked to her again. And she might have got a yeast infection the next day.
Sports Center?
Yeah, that was Sports Center. Wow, Redban, look at you.
Yeah. Did you guys think that oils were all oils? Like, I didn't know that massage oil was...
I've been on many one-night stands where I get my butt oil mixed with my massage oil or whatever. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. That's never... I don't know what's going on.
You know, like massage oils for like massages?
Yeah.
Right.
That's not like a lubricant. Yeah, that's... Yeah. I thought, oh, it's oil. It's like all lubricants are the same. Well, you're not supposed to put that icy hot, you know, stuff in a woman. It's really bad. And when she said she was hurting, it was because it was burning and freezing her at the same time.
Oh my God.
50 ways to leave your lover.
Yeah.
So...
All on the butt plug.
Don't get the oil, Doyle.
3.
You gotta be cold, bold. Oh, shit.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Get the butt plug, Doug. And stick it in me.
Oh my God.
Get the dildo, Bilbo. This Paul Simon
Shove it in
remixing.
my-
Like,
Oh, fuck.
shove it in my ass, Cash.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Give me a fill, Jill.
Before Before you put it on your pee, just listen to me.
Wow.
Well, I usually don't.
Did you fucking fart, Brian? What the fuck?
Dude, that smells
I thought it was bad.
It smells so bad.
Now that's a bison. Oh, fuck.
No, stop. Oh, what's happening?
One per episode, right?
One per episode. Wow. Look what he did
a true
there.
Professional.
Call back. We're going to close this episode actually with the kindness challenge off of Joelberg's suggestion. Let's get into it right here, right now. Joel, did you have something recently that you wanted to share?
No.
Okay, well,
I do.
You do?
Think.
Yeah.
Redban? Okay.
Yeah, I bought my 12th squatty potty for a comic. I bought Allie Mikowski one, and
Mikowski or Bisony.
and
McBisony.
she's really enjoying it. She's thanked me twice for it. She
Wow.
says it's really changed her life.
Yeah, Redban has this nice thing that he does where he'll find out people's address and then ship them a squatty potty for their...
I like to find out the colors of their bathroom. There's either a pink one or a white one. I personally wish I had a pink one, and I have a white one. I recommend the pink one. I think it hides dirt better.
Little fun fact, I'm one of the lucky recipients of one of Redban's squatty potties. When he first got it for me, I've never had a problem or anything like that pooping. It's always a natural flow for me.
One of the top young squatting comedians in the world.
Indeed. So when he first got it for me, I was like, oh, what is this? What's this hunk of junk that's going to sit in my, my bathroom? What the
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too, Redban.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a pretty big commitment, having something. It's a pretty big thing that stays in your bathroom. But with that said, once I got it home, and he was nice enough to get me the pink one, and it does go with the color scheme in my bathroom, which is heavily sort of like green and purple. So the pink sort of like blends in with some of the weird purples. I will say that it has stayed against my toilet, underneath my toilet, any way you want to put it. It's there. It's part of the family. I have my wife, my dog, and my squatty potty, and we're the Hinchcliffes. So come at us if you dare.
Wow. Redban, that's super nice.
Jeremiah, did I buy you a squatty potty?
No.
Well, you know what? I'm going to buy you one right now, and maybe the next episode you can talk about it.
Oh, Redban.
And Joel, you're coming.
Yeah. After all this potty talk, I have pooped next to Tony once at a Bob Evans.
What a credit! Do you tell people to bring you up to stage?
Yeah.
One time I pooped next to Tony Hinchcliffe at a Bob Evans.
I can't remember who said it, but either him or me said one of the top young pooping comedians, and then we had a
moment.
Yeah, laugh sitting next to each other. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we are on tour currently right now. This has been a special Roadcast episode of Jeremiah Wonders. A little behind the scenes with the cast of Kill Tony. Very excited to be able to share this with you guys. Come see us on tour. Tony, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, I mean, Kill Tony, the show you just got an in-depth behind the scenes, behind the kill, one could say. But yeah, that's what's going on. A few stand-up dates coming up. Miami, Florida. Another place in Florida, I think, coming up in a couple months. After this leg of the tour, I think I'm going to, or after that second leg of the tour, after June, I'm probably going to be announcing a few more stand-up dates. So keep an eye on that. But listen to Kill Tony, rate, review, have viewing parties. A lot of people
take pictures of it. We love retweeting it and all that stuff.
I don't repost a lot of people's things, but if you send pictures of Kill Tony viewing parties, you and your friends eating pierogies on TV trays on a Monday night on the big screen. Oh, you want to hear something cool? I will give you something for my kindness challenge. I don't want to extend it, but I did do something really fucking cool that felt really fucking good. I was talking to my mom on the phone on Saturday, and she was talking about how she loves Kill Tony and she watches every episode. She watches it on her phone. She would love to be able to get it on her TV. I asked her if she has a smart TV, whatever. And of course not. My mom's super old school. 73, I think she is now. Anyway, and she was telling me like, how she wishes that she could watch it on the TV. So I went to Amazon and got my mom a little fucking the rinky dinkiest smart TV. You know, it's only like, I think it was only like $130, literally. But it's, you know, the cheapest little fucking 40-inch smart TV.
But you can get a lot of bang for your buck for TVs now.
Well, trust me, she's only going to use this thing for Kill Tony. And because she literally doesn't fucking give a shit about anything else. And she, you know, she said she literally watches it in the bedroom while her husband watches TV downstairs. So that's her new bedroom TV. And she's got
the YouTube app on it.
Yep. Literally has it on the front page. I think it has a button. I can't quite remember, but if it doesn't have a button on the remote, that's basically what I was looking for originally. But if this one doesn't, it's on the front page. And while I was on the phone with her, I did what Brian just did with your Squatty Potty. I went to Amazon, fucking did it. It was cool. I was just showing my wife as I was doing it. You know, she was sitting next to me and she was excited. And then I got a cool text message from my mom because I'm Amazon Prime. 2 days later, shipped to her house. So yesterday morning, she got it. She said, crying my eyes out. I can't believe you did that. Coolest thing. You know what I mean?
Amazon Prime's amazing. And you could gift wrap anything, usually like $5 extra. You could make it like a little present. So they're like,
awesome.
what's this?
Yeah, your mom's the best, dude. She's great.
And I mean, I can't even imagine her reaction when she heard a knock. You know what I mean? You get a fucking, imagine that box. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is coming here? You have no idea. It's a box that size and you see a big ass TV. What the fuck? And it's just funny because with Amazon, it's fucking cost effective and the delivery's so fast. Amazon Prime is everything. I feel so bad for people that fucking go buy paper towels. All right, I'm done talking. Brian farted again.
Brian farted again.
God.
Oh, okay. It smells worse outside somehow.
No, it doesn't.
It smells pretty bad outside.
That's the fart coming
That's the
around.
fart coming around?
Yeah, you finally got it.
All right. So, Joel, Brian, do you have anything to plug real quick before we end?
My asshole.
Yeah,
Okay,
my
great.
nose, too.
Great. Well, we said things that got on each other's nerves about Kill Tony, but want to end on a positive note. Say how much I love you guys and how grateful I am to be on the road with you guys. And it's freaking awesome that we get to tour the nation doing this show together.
Bundle of sticks.
Was you saying that your kindness challenge? Haven't you done anything good for anyone lately?
Yeah. If you want to bring it up, I was just going to close the episode, but there's a homeless lady in a wheelchair outside McDonald's
Wow.
on
Double whammy.
on Tuesday and last week. And why was she in a wheelchair?
Oh, great. What did she have? The Shamrock Shakes?
All right.
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
In a wheelchair.
So she was outside and she asked me for money. I said, "Are you hungry?" Because anybody who's sitting outside of a fast food place, I'm like, you gotta have food. And if you're asking for money, she asked for. She's like, "Do they still have those mushroom burgers?" And I was like, "Ooh, that sounds expensive. Do you want like a cheeseburger or like a chicken sandwich?" So I ended up getting her a chicken sandwich and a coffee. And yeah, it was a couple bucks and easy to do.
So your kindness challenge was that you bought an obese woman in a wheelchair?
She wasn't obese. Her legs were just not very functional.
I bought that same woman a mushroom
I was
burger,
making a
and
We know you didn't say obese, but I was just gonna say your kindness was that you bought an obese woman McDonald's.
Well, way to put a bow on this episode, Tony Hinchcliffe.
That's a great ending.
It's a great ending.
guarantee you-
They're loving it. They're loving it. Just like McDonald's. They're loving it. Hey!
Kill Tony. Bye.
Goodbye. Ah!